This is a quick video. It's a student shout out to Mustafa, but it's also an example for you to see kind of what's expected, what you need to be doing, and what things should look like. So without further ado, here's Mustafa's essay prompt. What are the advantages and disadvantages of e-learning, and how can e-learning shape the future of education around the world? Well, he's made his introduction, and we've got his thesis statement at the bottom. I can see through the colours he's got the what plus the how or the why explained there, and obviously the thesis statement comes at the end of your introduction. I can see he's chosen to have a hook for his a quote for his hook, and he's bridged them in by, he's used Franklin means involvement, and he's quotes from Benjamin Franklin talking about involvement, so he's bridged in doing that. So let's have a little look. I'm actually going to start with the thesis statement and then move backwards. So despite some constraints, there are many advantages to e-learning, including the ease of using technology, communicating information for teachers, and the quick adaptation as well as satisfaction of students, which all allow e-learning to shape the future of education around the world. Then we'll start from the beginning. Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States, once said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." Now what he's done here is he's given the person of the quote, but he's explained who they are. So Benjamin Franklin is one of the founding fathers of the US, and then we've got the quote there. Bridging into it then, the process of learning is by far one of the few things in life that is ongoing and never ends with people or time. E-learning is a model of teaching and learning which utilises technology that does not rely on physical books or traditional brick and mortar classrooms, but instead can be accessed by anyone anytime, providing they have a device and internet connection. E-learning embodies what Franklin means when Franklin means involvement, and is the future of learning. Okay, so what he's done here is he's explained in his bridge what e-learning is. He needs to do that, and then he's mentioned the word involvement and linked it together there. So before going into his thesis statement, everything flows nicely. Let's have a look at his context paragraph. Today, the world is facing a pandemic with no cure that is rapidly spreading and infecting 4,607,254 people globally, and of them 318,419 deaths. He's cited that. Consequently, social activities, business, politics, sports, and even daily activities have been halted unexpectedly, whereas education and the learning process is still going on, although not in the traditional sense. Globally, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced school closures in 191 countries, affecting at least 1.5 billion students and 63 million primary and secondary teachers. Again, cited all of this. Consequently, schools in Egypt have closed and all of them have switched to online learning. Similarly, AIS has switched to e-learning in order to continue the academic year and hence the learning process. On a small scale, to better understand the application of e-learning at AIS, 15 students and 5 teachers were surveyed by 9th grade students as part of their final project. The results showed several challenges both parties faced, yet highlighted the advantages they saw to the process and how it appears that e-learning will soon replace traditional classroom settings in the near future if the pandemic remains. Perfect. He's explained why we're going online. He's explained what COVID-19 is and how it's affected schooling. He's talked about AIS. He's talked about the project. He's talked about who was surveyed. Everything you need for a context paragraph. Everything else now, to someone who doesn't know what's going on, it all makes sense. So let's have a look at one of his body paragraphs. I'm not going to look at all three, I'm just going to look at one. I can just see from the colour, he's got topic sentence with the what and the how and the why. He's got context for his evidence, he's analysed it, he's got a second piece of evidence with context, and he's analysed it again, and then he has a concluding sentence. So very quickly, the shift to e-learning has affected both students and educators across the globe, but many have quickly been able to make the transition and adapt to it. That's his topic sentence. As part of the survey, 5 teachers, all participating in AISE's current e-learning model, were asked how easy the transition was. Out of the 5 teachers at AIS, 3 agreed the transition to e-learning was easy, and that elementary students are learning to be very independent and have to practice more writing and typing than they normally would. So this is an advantage. What's great about this is he has utilised quantitative questions and qualitative. He has a survey result, 3 out of 5 said something, And then he's looked at his qualitative answers for justification, and he's embedded a quote as well, and he's done that here. So I'll show you again here. So he's used two different questions as one piece of evidence. One of them is quantitative, a survey, multiple choice, Likert scale, something like that. And then the other is the qualitative question where they gave a longer response. So then he's analysed, thus it appears e-learning will be smoother for teachers and will lead to development of online resources that can be used over and over again by educators globally. This gives teachers around the world opportunity to dedicate weekends or official holidays to their families and enjoy more leisure time than before. Furthermore, as is the case in the US currently, e-learning will provide students an opportunity to be connected with teachers and engage in non-stop learning while they are home, and thus provide overall satisfaction to educators. So his level 3 is a secondary source which backs up what he's saying in level 1 and 2. He moves on regarding the issues of time management. More context. Of the 15 AISE students surveyed, when asked about how time-consuming AISE's e-learning model was, context. What is being asked? Who is being asked? 8 out of 5 did not find it time-consuming, and a further 11 enjoyed it, with 7 in particular ranking e-learning as satisfying their needs on their Likert scale when asked how satisfactory the current model is. Context. Likert scale. 15 students asked. Evidence. 8 out of 15 said this. 11 and 7 said this. Context. Likert scale. Context. 1 student, when asked to justify their response, stated that. Evidence. Embedded quote. Okay, so we're using a mix of survey and quantitative and qualitative question responses as evidence. Numbers, data, and examples, reasons, justifications. Then again, he's analysed it. It is evident that if e-learning is applied correctly, teachers and students can practice efficient time management. Possibly, educators and students around the globe can learn to manage their time online by following a schedule, communicating regularly, putting more effort, actively following up and working at their own pace. If both sides adhere to time, communication, technology, feedback, and lesson design specifications the educator specifies, as is done in the US schools, then they will attain maximum benefit during the online learning process. Again, he's got level 1, 2, and then 3 is an article which is used to support level 1 and 2. To sum up, e-learning is not hard to adapt if applied appropriately, and it has eased the pressure of daily learning and provided a different setting than traditional classrooms and teaching methods teachers and students were accustomed to for years. He's just summed up the paragraph which links to his thesis statement. Let's have a look at his conclusion. He's got his thesis statement restated in sum, regardless of the constraints, when considering both sides of the learning process and asking both educators as well as students the advantages to e-learning, including communication, quicker adaptation and satisfaction, highlight the potential for such a model. It's pretty much the same, just different words. Then he's summarised the essay. He's basically taken the topic sentences, the main points of each paragraph, and put them in a couple of sentences here. Switch into an online model. They can utilise tech for their own learning, right training and adapting the process. It might most likely replace the traditional classroom. There are some constraints such as performance-based subjects moving online. These are all stuff that he mentioned in the paragraphs in the body, so he summed them up in a couple of sentences there. And then his takeaway: the future could be the very near future, as the pandemic has already forced schools globally to resort to e-learning. The use of technology presents the ease and efficiency in the educational process, although it has limitations, but prepares people for the use of technology in all aspects of life globally. As a result, schools, businesses must make the situation they are currently in and transition to e-learning from now rather than delay its application and be forced to use it later on. Perfect takeaway there. Nice one, Mustafa. So everyone can have a little look at this and see what's expected. Good luck.